and welcome to Legend Spotlight. Today our legend is going to be Akali, otherly known as the Rogue Assassin. So moving on, we have the Akali legend. It's our Rogue Assassin. She has the ability to be able to move back units with a tap of the legend and can be empowered for free in a power to make sure those units are readied when drawn back. We also have the Green Akali, which cannot be targeted in base and allows it to have a safe drop into certain decks. It can be a great out into those pesky red decks in the current format. We also have a way to move into battlefields and get +2 for that turn. That makes it a very, very strong unit in Akali, being able to stack that twice, potentially, to get a 8 might unit. We also have our Red Akali, which will probably be your chosen champion for this deck. She, when she moves, deals 1, and then she can move back from the battlefield and do another 1. But when empowered, that can be bumped up to deal 2, and she gets a plus might. So, whilst empowered, she is 4 might and pinging 2 every time she moves to a battlefield, and if you Akali Legend back out, you can ping again for another 2. Meaning you can ping for 4 damage in one combat. Our Shuriken Flip deals 2 to one enemy at the battlefield, and then you can move in an enemy. So you could Shuriken Flip, move in Red Akali, deal 2 again, and then move her back with the Akali Legend tap to be able to do 6. It also has Flow, our new mechanic, which is free and a power to then play again from the grave. This allows for Akali to have a lot of choices and options, and I think is a really, really strong start to the legend. Akali is green-red, and that makes her a very, very unique champ in Riftbound, being the first of that colour combination. But she can use the staples of those colours, these staples being On Guard, Defy, Discipline, Charm, Fairest Forerunner, Cleave, Falling Star, and Kaiser. Our green variety allows us to have pump spells in our On Guard and Discipline. Discipline also drawing us one, which makes it a great, strong staple. Defy and Charm both having their great utility of being able to counter a spell or move an enemy unit in. Fairest Forerunner is just an extremely strong unit that, whilst dying, makes 2 mechs. So that is a 6 energy drop with 1 power to make 6 might, and then when dies again, makes another 6 might. Makes it incredibly strong into those decks that want to start killing and slows down their game plan. Cleave gives assault free, which in this deck we are attacking more than we are defending, considering our legend is only during our turn. Our Falling Star is able to deal with some pesky champions or units that might be in base, such as during against a Lilia matchup, we can kill a blue Lilia and a Sprite or something else, or during a Diana matchup, we can be killing her Ways or blue Diana and something else. It gives us a lot of variety, and the free damage is really, really strong. Kaiser is our final unit, which is right now very, very expensive, but really, really strong for this deck because it gives us a draw engine, has accelerate, and is extremely just a good unit. Other units to consider whilst playing Akali are units that have an additional effect whilst moving or being targeted. Here are 4 options. The first one is Stellarcorn. When I move, draw 1. Really, really strong and impactful. We can get about 3 draws in a turn if we have the empowered Akali Legend. We can move Stellarcorn up, tap the Akali Legend, move her back and ready her, and then move her again to another battlefield, making that we moved her 3 times in that turn, getting 3 draws. Gives a really, really high advantage to you and gives you a good card advantage in that matchup. Yasuo is when I attack, deal damage to units equal to my might. That allows us to get that proc potentially twice if we have the empowered Akali again, or just once in a turn, meaning that we are moving a lot and we can make a safe kill by moving Yasuo up and then Akali Legend tapping him back so he doesn't actually go into combat. Green Irelia has currently been a very, very strong unit anyway, and just is a good unit in green, but having Deflect being a 5-drop with no power, and having when she is chosen or readied, getting a +1, means that we can move her in after being ready for the turn. She goes up to 5 might. We can attack Akali Legend, targeting her. That gives her 6 might, and then she is moved back and readied if the Akali Legend is empowered, meaning that she goes up to 7 might. We can then move her again to the battlefield and have a 7 might Akali instead of the original 5. Then our last one is Jhin. He is having deflecting ganking and allows for a lot of ability and mobility to get resources. He moves, he adds 1 energy and 1 power. This means we can move him 3 times, just like Stellacorn, and get extra free energy and free power for a turn. This could be a really impactful maneuver and allow us to keep ahead of the curve and not be recycling runes.
The next focus is the battlefields. Akali wants to be moving a lot and conquering. That's her main focus, and her battlefields need to be focusing on the same points. So the first one we want to be looking at is Void Gate. With the red Akali, we can make this damage be going up to 3 or 2, mattering if it is empowered or not. We also have different damages across the game. We also have Falling Star and different things we could be adding into the game, such as Recurve Bow. So Void Gate could be really helpful for those items. The next thing I want to talk about is Back Alley Bar. This is when you want to be getting your guaranteed win, as not many other decks can make good use of it. But you can constantly be getting good ones and pluses out the deck, and you can make sure that you have bigger might than your opponent. The last option we have is our Star Spring. Star Spring's really good and effective because we are playing units such as Inferno or Rengar Pouncing, which allows us to get other units back into safety while still being aggressive and fighting on those battles. The last thing I want to talk through is a deck list in this video, and just showing you an example deck list and how to build a deck list for the Akali Legend, and what should be included, and go through each part of that deck and explain why I've chosen those cards over specific other ones that you could have used. The first thing I want to talk about are the spells. The spells in the deck are most important in Akali and definitely makes or breaks your games. Charm and Defy are two strong staples of green. Charm allowing us to move enemy units around, which puts them into dangerous situations, allowed to take out things that were in base. Defy allows us to counter spells and make sure our plays are safe and secure. Cleave allows us to be really aggressive and giving something assault free, gives them a +3, which goes higher than our own guard and doesn't require a discard like Blood Rush. Discipline is a +2 and a really strong staple of green as well. Giving you a +2 might and a draw 1 allows us to keep card neutral and never losing out on a card advantage. Falling Star allows us to kill more than one unit or kill things that are higher than just 3 might by pinging it twice. Shuriken Flip allows us to be moving units around and has a flow, so it allows us to have a graveyard effect that I talked about at the beginning. Emperor's Divide is able to be used as flash and keep our units safe and secure. Resonating Strike is a one-of in the deck list, but it's really strong and effective with Green Akali. It allows us to move a Green Akali from base into a battlefield, giving it +4 might by that action, because Green Akali gives itself a 2 and so is a Resonating Strike. I think all these spells are very impactful to Akali, and when drawn all make a difference in the game and aren't feeling like duds in the hand. The next section I'd like to talk about are the high-end units of Akali. We've got Ferris Forerunner, which is a might neutral unit when dying, because it gives you 2 free might mechs, which are able to go conquer again next turn. Stellacorn Herder, which can be giving you a draw 3 each turn, which I showed you earlier in the video. Red Akali, which is able to put a lot of damage on battlefields and be able to be used to ping a lot of units. Green Akali, which is safe in base and is able to be going in for a late game swing with Resonant Strikes or other systems to be able to get her might really high. We also have Red Kaiser, which is allowed to be a draw engine again like Stellacorn Herder. When conquering you draw 1 and is also able to be accelerated. So it gives you a lot of options, these units, and I think they're all impactful in their own way. So we've talked about the big units, on to the small ones. We have got a great selection in Akali and we are going to be using every single one to the most usage possible. We're starting off with Inferna. She is an assault 2 but also has an ambush, so she can be really aggressive, and just being a nice 2-drop as well to be reading turns are really nice. Lonely Poro, he is a death knell when I'm alone, draw 1, is really effective and just a really great unit to just be dropping turn 1, so if he does die, you still get your draw, he's went neutral and he's done his job. Rengar Pouncing is a really strong ambush unit, and with our Star Spring we're able to get other units back to safety. Also having Assault 2 means it is really aggressive and can be going up to 5 might on that attack. It can also, which people don't realise, because it's old ambush, which isn't actually ambush, it's just reaction, can still be played to base and doesn't need to be played to a battlefield. Vi is our red unit for a endgame piece, but still a low drop. With her and Shuriken Flip, it is basically the old Vi Ride the Wind in Annie, where we're able to get and make a really large Vi, Shuriken Flip in, and then be able to kill anything we want to be doing, and end games right there and then. Mournful Witness is really strong in Akali and can be a 2-drop that comes into a 4-drop. It's really easy to survive a combat with our legend effect, so Mournful Witness is able to get empowered really easy, getting that +2 and becoming a 4 Might 2 drop.
The last thing to talk about for the main deck of Akali is the gears and gear kill you are running. So what I am running right now is Pendulum Blade, and I believe to be extremely stronger than Mask of Foresight, the current replacement that other people have in their decks. Mask of Foresight is only giving a +1 on attack and defending, and can stack up from Akali's effect. But Pendulum Blade does this and goes way higher. It's going for the larger swings, it's going way larger, and it's really going to swing games in your favour. You can get an Akali or a Kai'Sa that's up to 9 might, and that really does swing a game in your favour as Akali. The other thing to look at is Brittle Steel, which kills a gear and then has a flow effect to kill gear. This is for Aurora matchups and definitely allows you to have that option in your main deck just to have a kill.
Your sideboard, and it's the last part we want to talk about when talking about a deck list. It's those parts that are going to change, and it's going to change and shift as you go into the Vendetta format. Currently this sideboard is built to be looking at the format before and looking at Unleashed decks that are really powerful, and then looking at some of a Vendetta and what could be a good staples just to have there and be able to be used. Back Off is the first card I want to start off with. It is really important that in big strong decks like the Auroras and other things where they're swinging really hard, Back Off could be really helpful, and definitely into the orange Rengars of the deck format and different things that could come up. And it still can draw you if able to be played from hand, but if played as a hidden card, it's really powerful still, and just stunning something is really nice. Smite, and as we can see, two little webs are smiting down onto our screen. Smite is really good against our Death Knell decks, which is really strong against LeBlanc, and if Starcross ends up getting banned, then we're looking at Smite being used to kill other Ferris Forerunners against us, or different things with Death Knell so they don't end up going off. Brynhir Thundersong is extremely strong into Irelia and other decks that want to play a bunch of spells in their turn, such as Diana, and it allows us to have that option just to turn them off for a turn, and that really helps us get to that 6 to the 8 and knowing that we can conquer because we're able to just turn them off. Adaptatron is really strong into gears, and we can probably conquer twice in a turn, so we can get 2 gear kills in 1 turn. Adaptatron allows for that, which makes him a really powerful unit in this situation. We also have another charm, and just getting more charms and being able to have more dictatorship on where units are and being able to force them out of base allows us to be really strong. So that overall ends our sideboard for Akali. Overall, I'm rather hopeful for Akali in Vendetta format, and I think she can really perform. The green and red combo is really unique and allows her to be really strong with her movements and be aggressive, exactly what the legend wants to be. Overall, I think out of all the legends, she's around a 7 out of 10 and could definitely perform at big events. If she's able to outperform the other Unleashed format and other legends from previous in the game, is yet to be seen, but I'd love to see if she's able to. Best of luck to you Akali players. Overall, 7 out of 10. Hey, thanks for listening, and I know I'm just up and coming, and this is going to be my first ever really big YouTube video on Riftbound, so if you like and subscribe, and just tell me what I could do better in the next ones, it'd be really helpful, and I gotta love you if you stayed along and listened to this whole video. Thanks a lot, have a great day.